What is going on, faithful? Welcome to another episode of the Niner Sickness Podcast. How's everybody doing? Everybody that is popping up in the chat, hello, hello. You know how we like to do it. Before I bring in my special guest for the night, you know how I like to do it. Please do me a favor and wipe your feet before entering and smash that like button. We got the Niners and Raiders facing each other on Sunday. It's no longer the Bay Area type of match, but it's still a rivalry between Raiders and Niner fans that has gone for years and years and years. And the gentleman that I'm going to bring on, this gentleman knows his football. He is a content creator for his Raiders. He is beloved by his Raider fans, and he goes on way too many times than I do. And this guy has a lot of followers. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring our special guest of the night. How you doing there, Raider Bear?
Content creator for his Raiders. He is beloved
Oh, sorry.
by his Raider fans, and he goes on way too many times than I.
I'm just invading your show for a moment. The Raider Bear! What's up, brother? Welcome. How you doing? How are your Niner fans doing? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you interviewing me, having you on. And yes, this Bay Area battle will never die. It doesn't matter where the teams go. It doesn't matter how long it goes on. They'll always show Niners, Raiders. I love it. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing, man? Good to have you. It's been I never actually had you on my show. It's an honor to have you. We've been fans for a long time. You have your perspective. We're about the same age. I believe we're the same age. We're both 70 kids. So we're old, bro. But you know what? You've been a fan of your Raiders. I've been a fan of my Niners. We had ups and downs. We had a good years, bad years. And this year, both teams are going in different directions right now. I wish these teams were a little bit more equally matched for Sunday's game, but it is who it is. You got to play who is on your schedule. For those that don't know who you are, and if they ever want to know about the enemy and what the Raiders are doing, how can they reach you and follow you?
I'm mostly just on Facebook. I haven't went out there and conquered YouTube just yet. I have a little bit of presence on Instagram, but mostly I'm on Facebook at Raider Bear page, Raider Bear family page. And we just reach out. We do a lot for the homeless. We do a lot for a lot of charity programs, and we do it all in the name of the Raiders and Raider Nation. And so generally, if you find me, you're going to find me on Facebook. But I'm going to try and win over a few of your fans today, because I'm going to let them know, that all that rivalry stuff, that's all good. That's all in love. You know what I mean? That's no different than one family member meeting another at a party. You sit down at the table, you play a little board game, and you go at it. You want to beat your cousin. You want to beat your grandmama. But you don't love them any less. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you got a lot of your people in here, man. You got Joseph in the house supporting you, bringing some love. You got Tanya in the house.
Ah, nice.
She's supporting you. You got John Leon on the house supporting you, bro. You got quite a few people in here. The Raider Bear and the Raider Nation is in here. So you got all those that are in here, welcome to the channel. If you can do me a favor, you're probably not going to subscribe because you're not Niner fans, and I respect that. But if you can hit the like button for your boy Niner Sickness, I would appreciate that very, very much. So as we get started, Damien, welcome. Don, welcome. Terradome, welcome. Bryant, welcome. For those that are coming in, appreciate Kyle Benson, my brother from another mother. How you doing? Rip Bang Bang, welcome. So the Niners are facing the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday at 1:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Raider Bear, let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with your team this year, bro?
I mean, where do you want me to start? I mean, dang. I mean, that's a softball pitch, man. Well, all right. I tell you what. I put it like this. We got a new coach that, you know how it is when you have a job and you get a brand new boss, that's over everybody. It shakes up the whole house, and every employee that works there, gets a little rattled. And then right when our season started, I told everybody that watches my show, just like they watch yours religiously, I said to him, hey, man, I never heard of a guy having a 1 year out on his contract like Derek Carr does, unless the team plans on using it. So we better buckle up, because win or lose, we might be seeing our guy finally go off to pasture and go find somewhere else to play other than the silver and black. And that ultimately looks like what's going to happen. That's the hot news right now.
Yeah. That's what I've been watching. That's what I've been hearing. The Raiders shutting down Derek Carr for the last 2 games. And I understand where, as a business, I understand you got to protect your investment, the money that is owed to him if he gets hurt. So I understand it's a business. But he's given you 9 years of whatever it is, good or bad, ugly, for those that love and for those that don't. Why is the team doing this now? Why didn't they maybe shut him down like after the Rams game or something like that? Why did they keep going with him if they knew they were going to get rid of him?
Well, that's a great question. I would say the first thing is you don't want to look like you're tanking. And there was already a lot of accusations against us about tanking. So I think, honestly, if they had tied it up before the Rams game or at the Rams game, you run the risk that the league sees that as tanking. And remember, even if you're not actually tanking, there's really no way to prove or disprove tanking. So the league would just make the decision and we would be effed. So they just kept going forward. I don't think the team intended to tank at first. I feel like they went out there and they gave it their best. We got a lot of leads. We looked good in a lot of games. And then at least 6 games where we had double-digit leads, we lost the game. I feel like at that point, he pulled back on the reins and said, you know what, we're just going to lose out here, get a better draft position, and build stock for the draft. And once he started doing that, now you bench Derek Carr. Now, I would say to you, and this is no way meant to stoke you or your fans, but arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, Joe Montana, was sent out the door in a way the fans thought wasn't respectful to a guy that was a legend for your franchise, that really kicked off the legacy and the dynasty that became the Niners, was kicked off by Joe Montana, who I, by the way, also think is the best ever. I do not recognize Tom Brady. But anyway, long story short, I just don't think there's a good way it ends. Look at Peyton Manning with the Colts. He had more time in him. He didn't really want to leave. Jim Irsay chose the other kid, Andrew Luck over him. He goes to the Broncos and wins a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
It's like I said, it's a business, Raider Bear. It's about what can you do for me lately? What have you done for me lately? What can you do for me today? They don't care what your name in the back is as an organization, as an owner. As long as you're a productive commodity, you're able to provide service for the prospective team that you play for, they will honor you and love you and give you whatever you want. But the minute you can't produce or provide for what they need, they start moving you out the door. And that's just, unfortunately, like with the Niners, Steve Young was waiting and waited for a long time. He wanted his play time. George Seifert had become the head coach of the Niners following Bill Walsh, and Joe Montana still wanted to play, and rightfully so. He had time. But what can you do? You have 2 quarterbacks that are Hall of Fame quarterbacks, one sitting behind the other. By the way, with salary cap, that'll never, ever happen again, where you have 2 Hall of Famers on the same team. But you had to move on from Joe Montana, and Joe Montana wanted to go, and they respected. They asked Joe Montana, where do you want to go? He chose Kansas City at the time, and that's where he went. But when he retired as a Niner, because this is where he was drafted by the late Bill Walsh. So I'm gonna give me a second real quick. I'm gonna ask you your first question, of the night.
For
And
sure.
it's a simple one. BP 13, Brock Purdy versus Jarrett Stidham. Who is the better backup? Your quarterback or mine?
Well, Jared Stidham. I mean, that's not to say that Brock Purdy's not good, but I mean, we haven't even seen enough of Brock Purdy to really know what he is. And we've seen it against teams that don't know who he is and don't have any tape on him. I always say that first because I never want to come off like a hater. I'm not just being a Raider fan. But at the same time, and you know privately when we talked about it before, I told you I'm impressed by Brock Purdy. I think he might be a find. I think the only thing about Brock Purdy that will slow him down is his physical his stature. Will he be able to take the rigors, the beating of a regular season and being the starter? Outside of that, he has what it takes. He is a prototypical thrower. He has that touch and a deep ball, and he's got some guts, and so when I see Brock Purdy, I see a pretty good quarterback. But right now, on an even playing field, if Jared Stidham had this offense and was the guy, I think you guys would have problems. But truth is, I'm not excited about this game now because I wouldn't be surprised if your Niners sat Brock Purdy. Why would you risk him in a game that really means nothing, maybe even the next game, and just take him in the playoffs and go win? Don't risk Deebo Samuels. You guys are just getting him back. You know what I mean? And you guys should. I mean, you said it yourself. You should beat us. And I agree with that because I don't think we want to win.
Yeah, I hear you. In the perspective of Samuel, Deebo Samuel, yes, I understand. You don't want to bring him, even though he's been practicing.
I wouldn't.
You want to keep him for the playoffs for sure.
No, and Christian McCaffrey, I wouldn't put him out there either.
I would limit him.
You guys are deep. You guys are deep. I think you could beat us. Just play standard football. You just have a better defense. Win a boring game. I mean, let like for example, beat us 17-12. You know what I mean? And then just get out of there healthy.
Yeah, but I think that with Brock, the more reps he gets, I understand that there's that always. I've never been a person in my life that lived by fear. Fear never is. I'm always doing things. If things happen to me, it's meant to happen, whether it's good or bad. I never let fear stop me from doing what I want to do. And I feel the same thing with football. You can't protect your players. Players are going to get hurt if they're going to get hurt. I had players on my team get hurt sitting on a chair, getting up from a chair, and got hurt and missed half of the year. Jeff Wilson.
Well, I would rather Brock Purdy be sitting in a chair than facing Max Crosby down after down. I just don't know, man. We got nothing to lose. I mean, this is it. We got 2 more games. We got nothing to lose. I just don't know if you want him in front of Max Crosby, man, trying to finish off his stats.
I think our offensive line is playing very good football.
They're very good.
They're very good. So our guards have not allowed a sack in the last few games. And our tackles, we have arguably the best left tackle in football in Trent Williams.
I agree.
Cosby, I love that kid. We were going to draft him. I don't know if you know the history of that. The Niners were going to draft him, but you guys popped up and took him, which it sucks for us, but great because I loved him from college. And I love him now.
No. Wait a second. Don't throw that wrench at me. Okay, we wanted McGlinchey. And you guys moved up one spot in front of us and took McGlinchey.
And I wish you would have taken him because we want him out.
He hasn't been that bad, has he?
Yeah, you can have him. Well, I'll tell you what. Give us Crosby. You can have McGlinchey. And we're both happy. I'm just saying. Can you imagine Nick Bosa and Crosby on each side?
Sorry.
Don't die on me, bro. Because then oh my goodness, I killed the Raider fan, and I don't even mean to.
All I'm saying is I would rest the kid, or I would be real careful with him. Real careful. I mean, he's your season. I mean, you're on your 3rd guy. You guys are so spoiled. I have never seen a franchise in my life get to the 3rd string guy and get more excited.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the minute you lose your starting quarterback, you're like, man, your inspiration for the Super Bowl is just disappears.
Over.
It's over. You lose. Then you come in with your second quarterback, which is Jimmy, and you're like, okay, we have
It's
hope.
over.
We can win. He goes out. It's over. You come in and you bring in the third string, the Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the draft, and he's playing better than the guy that he's replacing. So it doesn't matter who's quarterback with Kyle Shanahan. He will put you in a situation to win, and that's what he's been doing. But as a quarterback, you still have to have the accolades, the ability to execute whatever Kyle Shanahan is calling. Because it doesn't matter how good of a game caller you are. If you don't have the personnel to execute it to perfection, it doesn't matter. And Jimmy could not do that. Kyle was limited with Jimmy. And it seems that with Brock, he's more open. He can do more things. He can go outside. He can go down the middle. He's mobile enough to get away from the defender. He gives the Niners a better chance to win than Jimmy ever did.
I don't disagree, but I want my props. You remember, okay, way back when I told you that this Jimmy Garoppolo thing wasn't going to work. The day you got him, I said, I'm not taking shots at the Niners. I'm just telling you, he's not the guy. And you want to know the truth? I'm making a confession right now.
Okay.
We had the same guy. Derek Carr is the same guy. It's in a different package, but it's the same guy. He teases you. He's got enough ability. He's got all the skills, but there's something missing with Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo. There was just something missing.
Yeah, no, I agree. They're very similar type of quarterbacks that can manage games, but can never get you that big win that you need. I mean, when you go into an NFC championship like we did in 2019, and your quarterback only passes 8 times, yeah, that wasn't very hopeful going into a Super Bowl, even with the good defense.
I couldn't believe he did that. I couldn't believe he did that to him. I mean, I know you didn't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo, but God, dog. I mean, you're going into a huge game and you do that. I couldn't believe that. Shanahan's got stones, man. He does. Shanahan is probably the only coach I've ever seen that actually deserves better than what he gets. I mean, you give Shanahan top ramen, and then he serves you lobster somehow. Yeah, and you guys are a quarterback away. That's it. You just need someone to steer the wheel. That's it. And you'd probably have 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years.
Yep. One of my followers is giving you some props. It says Raider Bear speaks like an analytics coach, and he is pretty smart with these ideas. Why is this man a Raider fan?
Well, I appreciate that comment. Much love to you, brother. And, I got to tell you, and just like my boy,
her name is Leslie, by the way.
Leslie, I appreciate that compliment. Really appreciate it. And I can just tell you, when Niner Sickness and I met, one of the first things we did when we met was we broke up laughing because we had to admit the whole Hatfields and McCoys kind of thing, Shakespeare and Romeo and Juliet and all that was happening, because he has family members that are Raider fans and I have family members that are Niner fans, and they each give us the business, back and forth from in our own family.
Yeah, it's terrible. I'm just blessed that my wife is not a Raider fan. That would have been tough. Being that she's a Niner fan, it helps. But you know what? I could have dealt with a Raider fan wife more than I can ever deal with a woman that loves the Cowboys. I couldn't do it.
I
couldn't do it.
No, they're arrogant enough already. I wouldn't be able to do it.
See, we agree. Niner and Raider fans can agree, and they're arrogant people and delusional fans. They still think they have a chance to make it somewhere this year. The Dallas Cowboys ain't going to go far. Neither are the Vikings.
No. I like watching Dallas losses as much as I like watching Raider wins. And I mean that seriously.
I'm with you.
Prescott is the most puffed up, supposed pretend star I've ever seen. I mean, if you remember back when, Jerry Jones didn't even want to pay the man, was publicly shouting, I am not going to overpay this guy. He is not as good as Tony Romo. I mean, would let everybody know at the mountaintops. Then he's finally forced to pay the guy, and the guy's a bum. He beats nothing but bad teams. Every time he plays a good team, he loses. He puts up a bunch of numbers between the 20s, and that Ezekiel bum running back of his is a bum. That whole team's a bunch of bums in a lousy division, beating the, what are they calling themselves now? The Commanders, the Masters, the Redskins, whatever the hell they are. And they're beating that team left and right. Who cares? The Giants, give me a break.
I love it. I love it. Listen, we're going to continue this conversation with our guest. I'm just going to take about half a minute, a break real quick to do something. Enjoy this while I'll be right back. All right. I had to take care of that situation. Bring back my guest. Sorry about that. I had
Gotta
to go.
pay the bills. Gotta pay the bills, or they'll get foots put in them. Put foots in them, okay? And if you don't pay the bills, you get foots, okay? That's what he was doing. You guys stop all that complaining.
Hey, we got our boy Corey Davis. By the way, this gentleman here, he has shared with the big Niner fan, loves his Niners.
Corey, what's up, man?
The man just found out this year that he has cancer. He's stage 4. And let's all keep just sending great vibes to him. Show some love. When it comes to cancer or any type of illness, I don't care what fan you are. You can even be a Cowboy fan, and you'll have my deepest feelings. So, Corey, once again, thank you for showing up, brother. Much love. And thank you for your support. And you know that I'm with you and keeping you in my prayers. He asked a question, says, Niner Sickness, who is going to get more sacks, Nick Bosa or Crosby? Even though he asked me, I want to ask you as my guest, who do you think in this game will get more sacks, Nick Bosa or Crosby?
All right, first, before we even go into that, Corey, God bless you. I fight diabetes myself every day. And no, I know that's not cancer, but both things kill people every day. So I want you to know I understand the seriousness of your fight because I'm going through it myself. And I'm telling you, don't let it wear you down. Don't let it get you down. You do as your boy Bear does and just get up every day. Thank God for that sunshine when your eyes open and go out and be a warrior every day for yourself and for your family, brother. God love you.
Appreciate
now,
that.
No problem. Now, first, and meant every word. But first and foremost, I would say to you that I think that it's gonna be close. I think honestly, because Max is gonna be seeing this as I gotta get those last sacks in there. I've got 2 more games. I gotta do this. Now, as far as Bosa, I think Bosa will get a sack or 2. I really do think he'll be able to get there, especially with our backup quarterback in there. There's going to be at least a moment or 2 where our backup quarterback's going to hold on to that ball maybe a little longer than he wants to, because as crazy as it sounds, Stidham really is going to try to win that game. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I feel like you guys are going to win because you're in a better position than we are. And your defense is amazing. But I have a feeling that, situations, just like boxing matches, styles make fights. I just have a feeling that Shanahan might rest a couple guys. I have a feeling like your offensive tackle, I know he was on your injury list. I was just looking at it today. Let me look right here. I have it right here. It's Trent Williams, not injured, did not practice on Wednesday, but full practice on Thursday. So I know that was just rest, for example, but is he going to want to, go ahead and just let that extend through the game. Maybe on Friday, he just sees him and says, you know what, I don't want to risk that with that guy. So I don't know. There's going to be some weird balance there. I really feel like there's going to be some rest, not just on our side of the ball. But I do think the sack thing is going to be interesting between Bosa and Crosby. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. And I know you've been mentioning about Niners resting certain players, and for the most part, I would agree. But we're chasing that number 2 seed in the playoffs, and possibly, I doubt it, but that number 1, Jalen Hurts is hurt. We don't know how the severity of it. They're being hush over there in Philly, but it doesn't look good. And they just lost their left tackle. Also, they might come back. He's not going to have surgery. He might be back for the playoffs. But
the Eagles look banged up. Yeah,
they're losing players. So we don't know what's going to happen there. But for sure, Minnesota's playing the Packers, who has something to play for this weekend in Lambeau. There's an opportunity if Minnesota loses, and the Niners and Minnesota has the same record at the end of the year, the Niners will still get the 2nd seed because of their conference. They have better conference.
I don't think Green Bay is going to get Minnesota. For those gambling people listening, Green Bay is not going to win that game. Minnesota's got a nice roll, but Minnesota's a phoney. If somehow you were to run into Minnesota, you would beat them.
We can beat them at home, or we'll beat them in Minnesota.
I agree.
I love their players, but their defense stinks. And I'm honestly going to see Aaron Rodgers kind of dink and dunk a lot of balls here and there. And they have a good chance to beat up on the Vikings, and that's what I'm rooting for. I can't believe that I'm rooting for the Packers, but in this particular game, go and beat Minnesota for sure. So let me ask you, Derek Carr, and we talked a little bit about it. He has been benched, and I think so. Has he really truly played his last game as a Raider? Because some people are saying he'll be brought back at a discount. Has he played his last game as a Raider, in your opinion?
Oh, okay, you got to tell me, are any of you viewers really feeling the trolling I'm doing right now in this red Raider Nation hat? Are they feeling this? Because I'm not feeling anything.
No, we don't see it. We don't see it red, and we don't see it. No, my viewers, they know better. They don't.
I was trying to give them the business.
No, they don't trip on that. I prepared all my viewers. I said this cat. You kind of don't feed into the fire. If the more you feed into the fire, the bigger the flame.
That's right. I'm different. Come on, man. We got to get some sickness medallions, man. We got to get the sickness game up. I want to wear some sickness. What's up with that? Let me see it.
Here you go, bro.
Ah, man. There we go.
There. Let's tell you, and then.
No, you see, I'm trying to bluff this question. All right.
This is what you don't have.
I'm going to put puts in you later on for asking me this question, because I don't want to answer that. Oh, there it is. Much better. 5. Much better.
Not 3.
All right, so look, here it is. Derek Carr will not throw another football for the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, that's 1. 2, and more importantly, pay cuts and all this, none of that's all nonsense. And then more importantly, if they were going to bring him back, the 38, and yes, I said $38 million, they have to pay him if he gets injured in the next 2 games. If he's an active player and he gets injured in the next 2 games, his $38 million is guaranteed. So obviously they weren't going to do that. They had a 1 year out on his contract. I've been talking to my fans and viewers every single day, trying to get them to understand, why would you have a 1 year out clause in his contract if you weren't going to use it? It makes no sense. So here we are. They're using it. He's gone. So the era of Derek Carr in the Raiders is over. It sucks. This is a guy that put 35, 32, something like that, 30,000 plus yards up for the Raiders in his lifetime, but it amounted to nothing. It amounted to nothing. It was a bunch of in between the numbers, in between the 20s sort of offense. And, God bless him, bon voyage, but you were always a backup quarterback as far as I'm concerned. He's been keeping the seat warm for at least the last 2, maybe 4 years. You know what I mean? So he's not coming back. And I'm hearing today the number one, they're saying the odds are the number one team to get his services is the Jets, the Colts, or the Panthers. And they're even talking about some kind of swap where we pick up Tom Brady and the Bucks get Derek Carr. And one last thing. It is probably the most cowardly thing I've ever seen that Derek Carr went home instead of ride the bench. I told Mama Bear right when I knew that Derek Carr was going to get benched, I said, well, at least we'll get to do the old, farewell. The fans will be able to clap for him when he comes out, that kind of thing. And then we'll just see him on camera sitting there talking to players. And instead, he doesn't want to be there because he might be a distraction. You're already a distraction. Yeah. I thought that was cowardly.
It sounds like it really sounds like somebody's butt hurt, man. It sounds like, they didn't let him play. They didn't let him finish on his terms. And he's having a little tantrum. Well, then that's fine. I won't be here. I'm leaving. Tanisha, welcome to the channel. She says, hi, Beto. Is it true that Derek Carr is not playing on Sunday? It is true. The Raiders decided to bench him, not because has been playing bad. They benched him because
wait a minute now. This is his lowest QBR since 2015, and he leads the league in interceptions. So what the hell do you define as not playing very well?
I am more upset that he's not playing than if he would have been playing.
Denise.
I wanted him to play. I'm like, our linebackers, we have arguably the best trio of linebackers sitting up back there with Fred Warner. We have Hufanga, our Pro Bowl safety, that wanted to take a jab at Derek Carr because this is the month of giving, right? And he's been giving away footballs. And so what do? The Raiders become a Grinch, and they stole those interceptions away from us by sitting Carr on the bench.
Bah humbug to this game. Humbug to this game.
But maybe your new guy might do even worse.
New guy? You kidding me?
He's never
Tom
started.
Brady's understudy. He's like the Patriots stunt double. All he's done is run this offense since he's come into the league.
But how many starts does he have in the league?
Zip. Zero.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. How many?
None. Nada. Not even as many as Mr. Irrelevant, okay?
He's going to start against Nick Bosa in this defense? Welcome to the NFL, young man.
Hey, look, buddy, okay? We might get our butts kicked, but we're going to lose like men. Well, that's all I got.
I'm saying it here and now. If you guys score any points, I'll be shocked. It will be a shutout. I'm trusting you. I'm telling you guys, listen to me now. The Raiders will be shut out.
Not happening.
Okay.
They are not even going to score. That's not happening. There's no way,
They might not even get past the 50-yard line.
No. That was in a different game. That was against the Saints, and we were all pissed off, and everybody was upset, and their shoestrings were tied, and they didn't get any orange slices or sun-kissed at halftime. We were just wet in the bed. This is different, okay? We're going to play you guys. You might win the game, okay? You notice I added that might in there. You guys might win the game, but we're definitely not putting up no offer. That's not happening.
You're going to lay a goose egg, guarantee.
Never happens. I like your defense. I do. I like your defense, but
Bosa will get his 2 sacks, probably 3. Fred Warner will stop your running. I mean, listen, one thing I can guarantee you, Josh Jacobs will not get more than 80 yards in this game running on the ground.
The only problem with me fighting back against what you're saying is I don't know that my coach isn't on your side.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
We need the draft picks, damn it.
Hey, is there a chance that he might not even play?
Yeah.
Or Devontae?
Yeah.
If that's the
what
case,
I'm trying to say.
It will be 0.
Yeah. Well, no, okay, but like I was saying, okay, watch. I'm not saying this is honorable because it's not, but it could be in garbage time. Late third quarter, maybe the Niners start to take some guys off the field. Maybe it's 27-0, and you guys take your foot off the brakes, and then boom, we get one in there.
But no disrespect, honestly. But
no, it's going to be full of disrespect. I know you, but go ahead.
Our backups are better than your starters. So
Well, on defense,
yes, we're talking
can't
about
argue with that.
defense. Yeah, and you don't want to face McCaffrey. Your defense doesn't want to face McCaffrey. I forgot what I checked the stats of your defense. You guys are not that good against the run.
Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, I don't like McCaffrey. You guys are having the honeymoon right now, and your coaching staff is handling McCaffrey the right way. You don't make him a bell cow back, and don't ask him to run in the A and the B gap too often. Let him get those tosses and get around the corner, get him some good blocking, and let him get loose. When you treat McCaffrey like you guys have in these first couple games, that's what works. He is a star, but he's not a durable star. So if they just manage his snaps, he'll be explosive for you guys and like really devastating. But they got to manage his snaps because McCaffrey, the only Achilles heel is he gets little banged up injuries.
Well, and that's true. But we have a player of a name that you're very familiar with. We have Marshawn Lynch, twin, and Jordan Mason. I don't know if you been. I know you don't probably keep up with our team as you do with yours, but we have this cat, 230 pounds. I think he's 6'1". It looks just like Marshawn Lynch, runs like him, power runner, wears number 24. And that's going to be a bell cow, and we're going to use Debo and CMC more on the outside, kind of on reverses, kind of like a little bit of trickery because we have those weapons. I mean, who are you going to defend? Debo Samuel, and I'm not referring on this Sunday. I'm talking about in general. Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Juice, CMC, or Jordan Mason. I mean, pick your point. And then we have an offense that is able to open up lanes. We lead the league not in rushing, but stopping the run on defense. And our secondary is pretty good with the addition of Charvarius Ward, which I think will be put on Devontae Adams if he does play.
Look, let's be honest, okay?
If he plays.
We're friends, but let's be honest, okay? We may be rivals, but I'm honest. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say the Niners aren't any good. I mean, that just would be stupid. So I'll say this. I think that there's a fair argument to be made that you're the best team in football, and the only reason people won't say it is because you're on your third string quarterback. That's it. If you had a legitimate number one starter, and I'm not talking about Garoppolo, I'm just saying if you just had a number one starter that was down, they would be saying you're the best team in football. I don't see anyone better. You can see flaws with the Buffalo Bills. You can see flaws with the Eagles. You guys don't have it. You do it in this new modern era of football. Your team is built the old school way. It plays hard in your face defense. It runs the ball wisely and with trickeration, and then throws the ball and stings you deep when it needs to. And you can do it at every level. That kid Kittles could go down as one of the best tight ends to ever do it. So to me, if Brock Purdy pans out for you, and I'm not even going to talk to you about the other kid, the one that broke his ankle. I just don't think he's the real deal. I've said it since the beginning. I don't think Trey Lance is a big deal. It's the real deal. I don't want to bash him because then I don't want your viewers to think I'm just on here taking shots at Trey Lance. But I don't think Trey Lance is what Shanahan really wants. I think he wants a Brock Purdy and wishes that he could put Brock Purdy's brains into Trey Lance's body. And then you'd have the guy. And if you had that right now, you're the best team in football. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Listen, again, I'm not going to compare Brock Purdy to Joe Montana, okay? I'm not delusional. But
you can't, yeah.
A lot of traits that I seen in Joe Montana when he first started to play for the Niners as a third-round pick out of Notre Dame, I see Brock do a lot of those things. Montana was not a big guy. He didn't have a big arm. I believe Brock's arm.
Wait. And what was the only thing that put Joe down? That shot from the New York Giants.
But that was back when you can hit somebody like that. Bro, you can't hit quarterbacks nowadays.
No.
Back then, yes, but you can't. A quarterback, if you look at him ugly, you get flagged. So, is there a potential
you can't lay on him like you used to back then. So that could save Brock Purdy. If they can keep Brock Purdy on his feet, you found a starter. Because I guarantee you next year, he will outplay Trey Lance in your camp. I would bet on it.
Really?
Yeah, he will outplay Trey Lance in your camp. I would bet you that right now.
So my question to you real quick is, okay, Trey Lance, there's not that much film on him. He hasn't played a lot of football compared to Brock. Brock had played a lot. But Trey is an unknown commodity right now. We don't really know whether he's going to be great or is he going to be a bust. What gives you the reassurance that he's not going to work out if he hasn't really shown what he can do?
Oh, Raider Bear is going to show some brains on this question. I'm going to come after your viewers again. Remember, Raider Bear family page on Facebook. Don't miss me. All right, now here it is. The reason why I don't like Trey Lance is because the school that he's coming from, they don't play that level of football. They don't really train at the level of preparation for the pros. Okay, so now who did that happen to? RG3 didn't pan out. Who'd that happen to? Tim Tebow didn't pan out. And why is it? Because they were in schools and programs that used their talent instead of improving their talent. So Trey Lance is what I refer to as a one read and go quarterback. And that's not his fault. It worked at the school he was at. His coach allowed him to keep doing it. So if that's what you train him to do, then that's what you're going to get at the NFL level. Now you've got him at the NFL level with Shanahan trying to teach him how to be an NFL level quarterback and learn those little nuances of taking the ball from center and so on that you have to already have built in, because every guy that tries to go to the NFL level and then learn that, it always fails every time. The only time I've ever seen it was even close was with Ryan Tannehill, who first came into the NFL as a wide receiver, and they converted him with the Dolphins into a quarterback, and they made it work somehow. And then he went on to the Titans, and he took a job from our backup quarterback with the Titans and became their starter. But that is so incredibly rare. And so I think Trey Lance is going to show that he has so much still to learn that while he's learning it, your boy Brock Purdy is going to just be slinging the rock. He doesn't need to learn how to take it from center. He doesn't need to know how to read a defense in 3 to 4 seconds. Trey Lance is still learning all that. And while the meantime, Brock Purdy already got it.
Now, from reading the defense, I can agree with you. That's something that he's going to need to learn, pocket awareness, something that Brock already has. But in college, Trey Lance, I forgot what his percentage was, but he was under center a lot in college. And so his back was towards the defense a lot. And that's one of the reasons why they liked him, because we do a lot of the things that we do in San Francisco is what I'm thinking of the school he went to. I can't think of it at the moment, but
Buffalo, I think it was.
Yeah. I just can't think of it, but he has done a lot of things. Now he's raw. He doesn't have a lot of game experience. He's going to have to learn this. But if we have this kid Brock that can step in, and then these both quarterbacks on a very healthy contract, we can put money and bring some free agents next year and build this team, because both of our quarterbacks, especially Brock, if he's the guy, he's getting paid peanuts for the next few years.
Right.
If we can do it, that window just opens up for us, because we're going to pay Nick Bosa a lot of money.
Again, I would use this analogy too. With Brock Purdy, Shanahan is the archer, okay? And Brock Purdy is the bow and arrow. That's how I see that relationship. Whereas with Trey Lance, there's going to be a certain amount of Trey wanting to put his stamp on the game with his legs or with his decision making. I don't like that. It leaves more room for mistakes and injuries. Whereas Brock Purdy is going to go up to the line. He's going to have 2 plays. He's going to be able to say, okay, I don't like this, check down to whatever that second play is, and then still sling the rock. Whereas with Trey Lance, he's going to be doing a check down that is either a run play or a run play for himself, like a RPO, a run pass option, because he didn't do that when he was in school. And so when I say that Trey Lance is behind the 8 ball compared to Brock Purdy, it's without insulting him. It's just a fact. There's just nuances of playing NFL style plays as opposed to the stuff he was doing in college where it was a pass play or you check down to a run with a clap and that's it. Whereas Brock Purdy can come up and call out through the whole playbook.
True. And it was North Dakota State. Thank you, Christian, for where Trey Lance went. And for the $5 donation, we're going to West Pet Pals. Thank you so much for that donation. Appreciate it very much, helping out the stream. So, moving on. Let's move on there.
Sure.
Well, I want to get your thoughts and your perspective as a Raider fan. What do you think of the combination of Deebo Samuel and CMC on this team under Kyle Shanahan? What are your thoughts of those two players under this type of coach?
Oh, it's scary. I mean, the only thing I've ever seen with Shanahan is that if Shanahan is using his offense and a defense starts to figure it out, he won't adjust. Shanahan is stubborn in the sense of he's going to call what he calls. Even if the defense is showing that they're making hay against it, he won't care. He'll just keep making those calls. That's the only flaw I see in Shanahan. That's it, is that he insists that what he knows is going to work is going to work. Even if it's not working that day, I don't care. I'm going to keep calling it. That's the only thing I've ever had a problem with him about. If you go way back before he was with the Niners, when he was with Atlanta, that was his biggest problem, is that the defenses would figure out something he was doing, and he'd be like, no, it's because we're not running it right, or we're not running it right with the timing, et cetera, et cetera. Now, as far as Deebo and your guy Christian, that's a pairing that can be unstoppable because you can throw that quick slant to Deebo, and he becomes a running back the moment he catches the ball. And then if you fake to that and you go to Christian instead, he can go up the middle, he can go on the outside, and he's got the speed to give you what you need. And honestly, I like Christian's build as well, even though he is somewhat, you could argue, I don't want to go as far as say injury prone because it's the NFL. Everybody gets hurt.
Correct.
And he's a running back, you know what I mean? So, of course, he's going to get hit, and he's going to get hurt more than likely, a little more often than other guys. So
Correct.
To immediately go to injury prone, I think is unfair to him. When you also add to that, he's a star. So he's going to always get a lot of snaps. He got a lot of snaps in Carolina. He's going to get a lot of snaps for you guys, especially next year when they figure him that much more into the offense. But as far as Deebo and your guy, that's lethal. You guys are set up for a while. You got Deebo, you got this kid Christian, you got Kittles, your offensive line is set. You got the coach that's got the offense.
Brandon Ayuk.
You just have to get Brock and believe in him. I would trade Trey Lance right now for high picks. I really would.
Okay, I didn't mean to laugh, but right now, let's be honest. Ain't nobody going to give that much for Trey Lance right now because he's an unproven commodity.
I disagree. They're going to see the same thing your coach did. And remember the teams I announced earlier. Think of how desperate a team like the Colts, the Panthers, the Bucks, the Saints, the Washington Commanders, who don't have a quarterback, the Patriots, who don't believe in Mac Jones. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams out there that are desperate to have a guy like that.
True. But you know what? In this league, it's not enough to have a good starting quarterback. You need to have that good backup quarterback. And no team knows that all too well than us. We are in our third quarterback this year.
But you know how brand image is. There's no way Trey Lance is going to accept being on the bench and being the number 2 to Mr. Irrelevant. It makes him look stupid. He was drafted too high. He's a good-looking kid. It just, you know how the NFL is. His agent and that kid are going to say, if Brock is the man, then get me the hell out of here. And honestly, you should do it because I don't think where he lands, I don't think he's going to pan out. I don't think Trey Lance is real. I just don't.
Interesting. We're definitely, Maud Lopez, welcome to the channel. Let me read her comment. She says she thinks that the CMC should be run on the outside and run Mason in the inside. And yeah, you run that Mason, bigger body through the tackle, and then kind of, use Deebo. One thing I like about Deebo is a receiver. They can be running back. You got Christian McCaffrey that is a running back. They can be a receiver, and that can be pretty dangerous, especially with the call plays that Kyle Shanahan calls. Let me ask you, Raider Bear, I believe that if you guys want to retain Josh Jacobs, and he's been having a phenomenal year, will you guys give him the bag or let him go?
Okay, let me just qualify first what your viewer said about the running backs. She's absolutely on point. I completely agree with that. Because even though you can run Christian up the middle, I just don't see what the point is. Okay, now moving forward, I'm just going to show one more time, Niner Sickness. I'm just going to show you how real I am and your viewers how real I am. Before the season started, I said this, okay? I said Josh Jacobs should ask for a trade. I said Josh Jacobs should ask for a trade right now. If I was Josh Jacobs' agent, I would have told the Raiders I want to trade. Now, why? He'd already outplayed his fifth-year option, and they declined it.
Yep.
Not only did they decline his fifth-year option that he's clearly outplayed, Niner Sickness, just like you politely qualified that I don't know a lot about, the Niners situation right now, I will politely qualify that I bet you don't know this. Josh Jacobs, in his first 3 years of his career, was statistically in yards and touchdowns ahead of Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen at the same time in their careers. Two legend Hall of Fame Raiders who every fan base knows Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen the moment you hear it. And he was off to a better career start than both of those guys. And we still rejected his cheap fifth-year option. Made the man play a prove-it year where he's risking his injury and his long-time worth for this team by playing still on his rookie deal. And what does he do? He goes out there and rushes for over 140 yards in 3 straight games, and then has a game where he has 300 yards plus receiving and rushing from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns, one of which was a 60-yarder to end the game. And we're not paying that man. If I was Josh Jacobs, I don't care what the Raiders offered me at this point. I'm out. Now, they'll franchise tag him and insult him because they only have to pay a little under $2 million to franchise tag him, which is dog food compared to how he's played as a pro. So I hate it for him. I love Josh Jacobs. The man slept in his truck and in hotel rooms with his dad before he went pro. He's got heart and he's real. And what do we do with him? We let this bookworm, bureaucrat, analytic nitwit, Josh McStupid, come in and insult the man. So what do I think? I think he's not long to be a Raider.
And it hurts him that you guys have, honestly, with no disrespect again, probably one of the cheapest owners out there that don't want to pay nothing.
Let me do the Joey Bosa.
How do you?
I don't know.
How do you let this guy get away?
I don't know what to say to that. I don't know.
How do you let this kid get away from you like this and not pick up his 5th-year option? I can understand your defensive end that I told you when he was drafted the same year that Bosa got drafted. I told you he was not going to work out for you, and you laughed. How did he work out? I already forgot his name from Clemson. Will Ferrell or
Cleveland Ferrell.
Yeah, how has he worked out? Because you were so high on him.
Loved him.
How's he doing?
He's a wash, to be quite honest with you. He's one of those guys that he's not good enough to mention, but not bad enough to really say he's
Solomon
a bad player.
Thomas?
Huh?
A Solomon Thomas type?
Yeah, exactly that. He plays the run. His Pro Football Focus numbers are decent. You know what I mean? And he's one of those guys that at the end of the year, when we go to trade him, we're probably going to get a 5th, maybe a 4th round pick just because of his size and his age. And some coach is going to think they can get the best out of him. No different than when Arden Key became available and he went to the Niners. You know what I mean? He just looks prototypically like he should play well. So whenever a guy like that becomes available, there's always some coach that'll give him a shot. So we'll get something for him.
Now you are an honest person, bro. I know you're honest, and I know you can admit when you're wrong because you're just that type of person. But do you remember making a statement back then? And I guess nobody knows the future, but you said your word, and I'm not going to quote because I don't remember exactly, but you said something down the lines that Farrell was going to be better than Bosa.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Were you? I guess you were wrong on that one, huh?
No. We
What?
don't know which Bosa. We don't know which Bosa. I was talking about Nick Bosa.
No. We were no. We were talking about cover yourself up, Mister. I know football. You said straight up he's going to be a better than Bosa. Bosa. I mean, you can't even talk. Look, I'm killing him.
Joey went and stayed healthy, and I just didn't expect that. I did not expect Joey to be healthy. And you have to admit, at first he wasn't. Even when, if you look back, even when he was with Ohio State and he shut it down, it was because he was having health issues. He had to have surgery, and he knew that he was going to be a first-round pick. So there was no point in him playing any more college football. So he shut it down.
But who cares about Joey?
I was kind of playing off of that evidence.
But who cares about Joey?
Well, you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Nick, Joey, they had a similar situation as far as they were both coming into the NFL with an injury and surgery history coming out of school. So I just felt like we'd already seen what we were going to get from one of the Bosas. So when the younger one went to the Niners, I just thought, here we go again. It's going to be the same, guy's got all the talent. He's got all the size. He's got speed. He's got everything you need. But will his knees hold up? Will his back and shoulders hold up?
He's been doing pretty good. Yeah, he's been doing good.
So far, so good.
Not so much for his brother, unfortunately.
No.
Which
we're enjoying that, though. We're enjoying that, though.
True. And then, can you admit this, or agree with me on this, that out of the two brothers, Nick is the better player than Joey?
I think, okay, I'm going to be real specific with you here.
Okay.
I think Joey is stronger, but I think Nick is better.
Okay.
I think Nick is just a better football player, but I think Joey is just stronger. He throws guys, whereas not that Nick can't do it. He does it, but he has bull rushes. He does the swim moves. He does the rips. Whereas with his brother, it's just usually power, throw a guy, power, throw a guy. I think that's why he gets hurt more.
And a little bit of, okay, let's talk about your guy, number 98.
Sure.
This guy is special.
Oh, yeah.
I believe that for a defensive player of the year, a lot of people are saying Nick Bosa should be on number 1, but there were a lot of people who were saying, and I'm getting tired of this number 11 guy over there in Dallas. We can't really agree. They overrate him. Your guy should be number 2 above him. Your guy is playing way better than that kid over there in Dallas. And this is not me hating on Dallas, but it's like, but if you play for Dallas, you know how Dallas is always televised. Everything about Dallas is always blowing up.
Inflated.
Exactly. This guy Parson is not a better player, in my opinion, than your boy Crosby whatsoever. I would take Crosby 10 times over the kid over there. And for the fact that they have him above your guy, is just total disrespect.
Well, they went too quickly to make him Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
They went too quickly to start calling him Khalil Mack. I mean, first off, your kid Bosa is better than that kid. He's bigger. He's much bigger. He's much stronger. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like they have number 11. I think they have him playing out of position. He looks like a linebacker to me, not a defensive end. And they have his hand in the ground to me far too often. If you look at his last few games, it's why his stats have gone down. The kid is nice, but they're trying to do too much too fast with him. It's why I think Dallas is phony, and they're probably going to ruin that kid's career.
I agree. And their corner over there, number 7, he gets a lot of interceptions, but the guy is always giving a lot of yards. And people don't see that. He gives so much yards to receivers because he's always trying to get that interception. He doesn't play he likes to play the ball more than he likes to play the player. And I think he's overrated. What's your thoughts on him?
Okay, I'm glad you asked me that. And honestly, with Diggs is doing what some players do, okay? Diggs is not playing team football. If he sees an opportunity to jump a route, and get an interception, if it means he gets burned, he doesn't care, because people don't remember guys getting burned. They remember the interceptions.
All right,
And
good
so
point.
then what happens is, now that he's got those interceptions, his agent can go to Dallas and say, hey, man, you have one of the best corners in football. This guy led the league, or was second in the league, or third in the league in interceptions. You got to pay this man. You got to give him a bump up. And that's what they do. And then he ends up in the Pro Bowl because he's got X amount of interceptions. But in reality, it's puffed up analytics stats. He's a good corner, but is he as good as people portray him to be? Absolutely not. Because a lot of his numbers are inflated.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get double-digit interceptions again. You know how hard that is?
Even if he does, he's just trying to put himself in the Jalen Ramsey stratosphere, and he's not.
No, I agree. He's not. Talking about cornerbacks, I'm not familiar with your corner. How good are your corners, and how good are they playing right now?
Well, we picked up one of the veterans, a kid named Rock Ya-Sin, and we picked him up from the Colts.
I remember him.
Okay, now a lot of people are familiar with Rock Ya-Sin because it's a pretty cool name. He's been around the league a little bit. But Rock Ya-Sin, while he was with the Colts, was really vocal about the fact that he felt like he should get a shot to start. And the Colts were on the verge, but never really made him an on-an-island #1 cornerback. Whereas the Raiders were ready to do it. We made that deal and then brought him over and made him a #1. Now, he played pretty well for us, but then he started to get banged up. Once he got banged up, the performance was hit or miss. I got to say, and then also with Anthony Averett and another Averett we had, both guys, not so much. We're in more of a transition mode than most people realize. Last year we made the playoffs, so it made our team look a little bit better than in reality it really was. We were running guys around, making plays, but it was a low-rated defense. This year we were dead last in red zone defense. Pretty much everyone that got in the red zone against us got a touchdown. Just pretty much everybody. And so we were not playing corner well. When the Rams came to face us, they came to face us with Baker Mayfield, who basically knew their plays from a handkerchief, where he had been writing them down on the handkerchief on the plane flight to the Rams. And he still showed up and beat the hell out of us. And we had Sam Webb, a third-string cornerback, on zero coverage, no safety help, and we get burned for a touchdown. Rams win the game. So we're really, really bad at that third-level defensive back right now. We're going to have to make a lot of moves in the draft.
Okay, but can we safely say that you guys are not going to rebuild this offseason?
No, we are going to rebuild. You're really going to see some stuff. For example, Josh McDaniels is doing what new coaches do. They always come in and tell the fans, I'm going to leave everything the way it is. I just love this roster. I'm just glad I've got a job. And then as soon as the coach has the job, he starts complaining about the quarterback. And then as soon as he's got rid of the quarterback, then he's going to want to start going into the draft and fixing this defense and finding his guy to sling the rock. Now, I'm just curious who that's going to be, because it's going to be a veteran. I have a feeling I'm going to throw a name at you. I don't know this is who it's going to be, but I'll just throw a name at you. Tom Brady, Matthew Stafford, maybe even Garoppolo if he comes back early enough from his surgery, this last surgery. They're going to end up throwing the rock for us, and that's going to put a lot of scrutiny on our team. But at the same time, it's going to buy Josh McDaniels time, because instantly fans and opposing fans are going to say, well, they just got a new coach. They just got a new quarterback. So now we got to give them a couple of years to build. And that's what these coaches do. They lay that blueprint, so they buy themselves time. It drives me crazy. Just come in and win with what we have and do the best you can. And instead, they have to remake the team in their image.
I agree. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to Randy Daytona for a $5 donation. You're awesome, brother. Appreciate that, man.
Way to go, Randy.
For that donation, I appreciate that. As we're winding down, because I know you're a very busy man, I wanted to ask you, Devontae Adams, would he follow Derek Carr wherever he goes, or will he keep playing for his childhood team? Now, we're not talking about can he go, but would he want to go and follow Derek Carr, in your opinion?
But, I've used this analogy with you in the past. If it was you and me, if we were going to go somewhere to try to fix something, we've always thought we would do a good job because even though we like different teams, we get along as men. So once you go to whatever that endeavor is, we believe we're going to do it. So when we then have the rug pulled out from under us after, let's be honest, did Derek Carr have a good season by our standards or his own? No. But he was only 118 yards, just 118 yards from setting the all-time Raiders single-season record of yards and touchdowns from one quarterback to another receiver, i.e. Derek Carr to Davante Adams. So see, statistically, the two of them were on track to do what they hoped to do, dominate with their offensive attack, hopefully get the defense together, and then the two of them were going to light it up and win for the Raiders. Problem was, Davante Adams, I think, made the deal, came here, was excited, not realizing at first that they only really had 1 year to prove it. That Josh McDaniels and Mark Davis were only giving Derek Carr this season to show I can get this offense down and I can win with this team and this coach. And that was it. Mark Davis was more in on this decision than people realized. It was not just Josh McDaniels, because that clause that was put in his contract, that was Mark Davis. And after research, I found that out. So as fans, both Niner and Raider, that's the really interesting part of the story, is we're finding out that 1 year prove it deal clause that was put in Derek Carr's latest contract was done by his owner, not the new coach.
Interesting. That's an interesting take. I was not aware of that, and I appreciate you sharing it. Yeah, I just, man, going into this game on Sunday, I just honestly wish your team was playing at all cylinders, playing great football, great quarterback, because I love those type of games. Win or lose, at least you played a very good. I mean, like I told you earlier, not on the show, but when we were talking on the side, that if the Niners don't win by double digits in this game, I will be disappointed, because there's no way the Raiders have any type of win in this game.
No, you shouldn't do that. If anyone's proof of that, it's us. Remember, the Colts were having a bad season. They couldn't get out of their own way. And then as soon as they hired a new coach, it energized the team and they beat us. And what has happened since? They've lost almost every game since. But for that one game, they got up for a team and they played their best football and they got us. If I was the Niners, I would be very careful with this Raider team. And when I say that, I mean that as honestly as I can when I say this. Don't forget, there is one ace up our sleeve. We're not replacing Derek Carr with some young, plucky quarterback. We're replacing Derek Carr with the understudy of Tom Brady and Garoppolo all those years in New England. He knows this offense like the back of his hand. If anybody could stand in the pocket and run this offense, it's this kid. So if the Niners don't take him seriously, he's going to go out there and he's going to sling the rock and he's going to try to win this game. I don't think we will, because I don't think Josh McDaniels will allow it. I think by the third quarter, if it was 17-14 and we were leading, I would guarantee you we're going to lose that game, because we're going to go conservative. We're going to run the ball. We're going to throw little passes and punt, and you guys are going to get us. But you're going to get a game from us. I'm telling you, we're not going to go in there and lay down. They're going to want to prove that the problem was Derek Carr. And the way you do that is go out there with Stidham and execute well. Even if it's a close loss, it'll be looked at as blame on Derek Carr that we didn't do better this year.
Okay, so of everything you just said, what I heard was that if the Raiders lose, it won't be because they're a bad team and we're better. It will be because they're going to hand the game to us in a basket, because they don't want to win because of their draft. That's all. That's what I heard.
Perfect. That was exactly what I meant. That there's no way we can lose unless we just give up. That's all there is to it. You're not going to beat us.
Okay. Oh man, where are you going to watch the game, by the way?
Did I say I was going to watch this game? I didn't say I was going to watch this game. I'll watch it from home. You know, that's where I usually go when I know I'm going to feel a lot of pain and upset feelings. I usually sit on my couch.
I
My
guarantee.
dog.
I'll say this, bro, and I mean this with all the love and respect, because I know you love doing this. I guarantee you, for this game, that your front door will not be opened. And a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying, but you understand, and your fans understand that your door will not be opened by your beautiful wife and lovely assistant. Are not going to open that door. It's going to remain shut. So make sure it's locked, brother, because you open up the window, because that's the only thing you're going to see from the outside during this game.
Touchdown! Raiders!
Get it out, bro. Get it out.
Just a preview.
Get it out, bro, because it's not going to happen. What's up, East Coast Red and Gold Podcast? Welcome, Ma Lopez. Welcome, Ryan Jones Sr. Welcome. Those that are popping in late. My boy Ryan, which I got to go and do a show with him. We were supposed we do the Thursday game football where me and Ryan, which is No Butter Sports, host the game, and we talk about the game together. And this is the second time that I double booked myself on the day that I'm supposed to go live with him. So No Border Sports, please do not kill me. It's my ignorance. I got to learn how to use a calendar. But I've taken enough of your time. My brother, everyone that came to support my brother, you guys are amazing. Make sure to hit the like button if you're watching me on YouTube. Oh my God. This is
Raider Bear.
Before I let you go, give me a score prediction with a true score prediction in this game.
All right. True score prediction. I would say Niners 27-13.
What is it?
27-13. Obviously, you can score more points than that. I just don't think you're going to need to.
I got all these crap that I'm still holding on to.
I know some guy you were supposed to send that to. What the hell's going on?
I know.
When are you gonna come by? When are you gonna come by and break bread again? I have to embarrass you in front of all of your fans and admit that you've been to my house twice to break bread. Just admit it.
Yeah, and I have invited you to mine. I know I'm bad. Okay, but as soon as I can buy a house that is actually invitable to, no, just kidding. I have to definitely have you over. But no, they've been in there, bro. I gave this to you. That's why I haven't given away to anybody else, because they're yours. It's just a matter of getting to you. By this time, it should be sometime by, I don't know, 2030. They should be getting to you. So, okay, I got caught up in showing you that I overlooked. I know you said it on here. What was your score again? I'm sorry.
27-13.
27-13. Who?
Oh, yeah, I'll give it to you. 27-13 Niners.
Okay. And me, I'm going to say 35-34-0 in this game. I don't think you're going to score on this defense. Not with your backup. I don't think. And I think Devontae Adams might have a good yards. We've been it, but we don't break. And I think your boy Joshua will be kept under 80 yards rushing. We'll see how he goes. My friend, it's a pleasure. Keep your phone with you on Sunday, because I will be texting you like you don't believe during the game, bro. So expect that from me. You expect a lot of emojis, because you will be. Now, if it's the other way around, I probably would turn my phone off. Because
no, wait a minute now. Don't do that. You know I'm a man of my word. I'm here doing this show with my team limping around with one leg. So if we score, or God forbid we somehow find a way to win this game, you better turn this show on, because I'm going to come right on like I am now, and we're going to talk about that business.
It's not going to happen, bro. I'm not worried. But you know what? If that's the case, I will bring you on, and I will eat humble pie. I guarantee. Now, if the Niners do hold your team to 0, would you come back on my show and admit that I was right?
That's fair.
All right, there it is. So if we keep you guys to 0, you come on my show. If you guys win, I will not only bring you back on my show, but I'll go on your show humbly and eat some humble pie.
Deal.
Guys, thank you guys for watching. Hang in there. Don't go anywhere. Raider Bear. Everyone, thank you for joining in. Thank you for being part of the Niner Sickness
And
podcast.
I appreciate you guys and Niner family.
This one's better.
Treat me with so much respect. I appreciate that.
Look at that. We both had the same idea. And we had I didn't get mine because he got his, or he didn't get his because now the other hand has an ugly logo on there. Yeah, we don't want to see that one.
Warriors
suck.
No, man.
What's the record?
No, man. We don't want to start that show. You know who got all the rings, son?
17 rings for the Lakers. How many did the Warriors have?
No. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute. You said Suns. I thought you were talking about Phoenix.
No. I'm a Laker fan.
Oh, okay. All right. I can feel that.
Yeah,
the West Coast, though, runs through the Bay Area right now. You know that.
Yeah, true that. Although we're playing like crap this year, and I don't know. LeBron looks like he's getting frustrated. He wants to go. He's crying a little bit now. So Matt Lopez says Warriors, so she's right behind you. Even Dawn, she's a big Dubs fan.
Nice.
And her husband is a Raider fan. She's a Niner fan. Her husband's a Raider fan. Her 2 kids, one of them were a Raider, one was a Niner, right? Guess her 2 daughters.
Yes.
But her 2 daughters are now Niner fans. I won her over. Now we're working on her husband.
Wanted the Raider Bear over for dinner, I'm there.
Love you, brother. Hey, everyone, thank you for being respectful to the Raider Bear. This guy's amazing. If you guys want to know about football in general, please tune into his channel on Facebook. This man knows what he's talking about. He gives great shows. I watch it. As you see, I don't always type in, but I always watch because I love what you talk about. You're not biased. You're not a homer. You speak the truth, whether it's positive or negative about your team. You're going to speak. If somebody's worth talking about positively about your team, you will do that. If they suck, you will expose it. You're not going to be a homer, and that's what I love about you, brother. Keep that up. But with that said, before I let you go, as good as you yell the Raiders, you're not better than Rambo. Rambo is the man.
That guy stole my stuff. Don't do that.
I talked to him the other day. He said you stole it from him.
He's a clown. That guy's a clown, and you know it.
No,
he stole my stuff. His podcast is 5 minutes old. I've been doing this for 9 years. No, that guy's a lying bum.
I don't talk to him. I told you. Yeah.
Bum.
Yeah.
Your show, I watch. Your show, I respect. That guy is a style-stealing bum.
No comments. But everybody, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys hanging in with me. We'll see you on the next podcast. If you're still watching, Ryan, I will make my way over to your channel in a few minutes. Thank you for holding it down over there. Good night, everybody that tuned in. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Have a wonderful night. Go Niners. Beat the Raiders 34-0, baby. Let's
Good luck
go.
with that.